Good morning everybody, Stephen House from Full Time Devils. This is your MUFC Daily and here's what we got for you this morning. I'm not going to mention the M word. Okay, so Louis van Gaal, the players are convinced that Louis van Gaal will be here till the end of the season. He will not be sacked before the end of the season. This is in the Mirror. And I have to agree with them really, because after everything that went on in December and then we had the losses last month, this month, there was just that feeling that the club was not going to do anything about changing the manager during the season. There was a whole lot of smoke and all the little leaks and reports and that seemed to indicate that a decision had been made, which didn't really make sense at the time, to see Louis van Gaal right throughout to the summer when a new manager would be coming in. I'm not going to mention who. You all know who. And maybe that's turned out to be a wise decision at the moment. Maybe the club thought rocking the boat at that unstable time wasn't going to do anybody any good, and maybe that Louis van Gaal's got this newfound freedom. He's been forced into it a little bit, but some managers wouldn't have done it regardless. And he's just literally seems to be just giving as many young players the opportunity to see what they're like as possible, because he didn't need to bring Fosu-Mensah on the other day. He had Riley on the bench, who's been playing at left back, who's already played at left back. So bringing Riley on would have been the sensible option really, but he didn't bring Riley on. He brought Fosu-Mensah on, and then he gives Weir his debut with only seconds remaining. He literally just feels like he's trying to debut as many players as possible. So I don't know, maybe he's just decided that we're going to just bin the philosophy and we're just going to open the gates and just let everybody go. Speaking of youngsters, we had another injury last night. Under-21s played Middlesbrough over at Hartlepool. We won 2-1. It was a really scrappy game. We had a perfectly legit goal disallowed early on. We didn't really find our rhythm. That might be because some of our better players, like the likes of Fosu-Mensah and Rashford, have been stolen by the first team now. Obviously Cameron Borthwick-Jackson as well. But we just didn't seem to find our rhythm. Middlesbrough played really well. They hustled quite well. Similar to how we played against Arsenal, actually. There was a lot of hustle and fight about them. But our quality shone through and we eventually got the win. Once from the spot from Pereira and then an own goal after Weir had crossed it and it hit a defender and went in. So it was a decent, entertaining game, I guess, if a little bit scrappy. Januzaj was withdrawn after 60 minutes. Riley was withdrawn, and obviously Love suffered an injury, so he was withdrawn as well. So we got to see a few more faces. Tyrell Warren, sorry, coming into the under-21s, which is good to see. Really young defender. I think he's got a high future for him. So it's nice to see him coming through. That left us with, well, a very young defence, let's put it that way, for an under-21s game. But we saw it out, and we are now 2 points clear at the top of the league with a game in hand, which is phenomenal news, isn't it? One Matt has been talking, this has been reported by the Mirror. One Matt has been talking in his blog, and he said Old Trafford has deserved these last couple of weeks, where we're talking about the run of games that we've just gone on, and it feels great, this run of games, doesn't it? We do have to be mindful that 2/3 of this run of games has been against teams that we should have absolutely swatted aside. But the Arsenal game, it felt significant, didn't it? The atmosphere inside the ground, the determination and everything about the players, it felt significant. And I rewatched the game yesterday and I was thinking, why can't we just continue this run? Nobody had a poor game yesterday, Sunday. It seemed like every single person was doing their job and was doing it with enthusiasm and was doing it with the right attitude, and I just hope that we can continue this. It starts tomorrow, doesn't it, with Watford. If we can continue it against Watford, then we're going to do our chances of getting into that top four no harm whatsoever. And the final one we've got for you, this is a mad one. Ezekiel Lavezzi, obviously he's gone to China. He's one of the players that they've took over there to help boost the game over in China, and he's been talking. He says his international career is probably more or less done now. He doesn't expect the international manager to be getting up and watching games of him playing over there, and obviously the level and all that lot. But he does say something strange, which he said he could have signed for Inter Milan, Chelsea or Manchester United. So why would you go to China? I'm sorry, mate, if you wanted a new challenge, the challenge was there, wasn't it, to come to the Premier League and at least do a year over there. I don't think the lure of China was that much. that you would turn that down. I'm sorry, so I'm not buying that, mate, not one bit. That's reported in Sports Witness if you want to go and check that one out. And that is it for today. A fairly quiet day for today because the newspapers aren't jumping up and down all over Louis van Gaal for a change, or slagging the academy off. Now they've got nothing to talk about, have they? So thank you for watching. Stick it in the comments what you think about Louis van Gaal staying to the end of the season. It feels inevitable, doesn't it? We've said it for the last 6-7 weeks that if he wasn't going to sack him, he is into the end of the season at least. Talk to me about, did you watch the under-21s? Who stood out for you? Who do you think the next person to get a debut is? I was surprised that Matty Willett wasn't included yesterday, so maybe he might be on the bench tomorrow night. We'll have to wait and see. Talk to me about One Matters blog if you have a read of it, and talk about Lavezzi as well. Thank you for watching. See you soon. Ta-ra.